With voting having wrapped up for the 2019 GAC Legacy Awards, we now get a chance to speak to some of the winners. And as you've gotten used to over this award season, Southwestern Oklahoma State women's basketball dominated the online vote. And joining us now to reflect on the award for most outstanding performance and NCAA Championship from the national runners-up, Southwestern Oklahoma State, Tyra Aska. Tyra, thanks for taking the time to join us and look back on March.
No problem.
So, like I said, we're starting with March. So, we'll go to Bartlesville, where you guys accomplished a long desired goal of winning the conference tournament. With that, obviously, an automatic bid. You guys knew you were safely in the field, but you started that week ranked #1 in the region, and so the idea of hosting had to be on your minds. So, just take us through what probably was a bit of an odd selection show to know that you had somehow done everything you could have done, but you dropped and knew you were now going on the road to Hayes.
Yeah, we were super excited. We were super pumped. Everyone was ready to host. You know, we wanted our home fans to be there, the town, everyone. And then we watched the selection show and it said Hayes, and we were like, oh wow. But it all turned out to be great. Coach was just saying, like, you know, she wanted to go up there because, you know, they were number one. You know, they were number one the whole year in their conference too. So she was just saying, you know, it'll be sweeter just to beat them on their own floor, and that's what happened.
You guys did get a chance to prove who was perhaps more worthy there in the final. So we'll just take it through that central regional there. You get to end up facing 3 MIAA teams. You know, with Emporia, Central Missouri, and Hayes. Just take us through the mindset of how Coach set you guys up for the week, because, you know, it had been a minute since you'd had March postseason success. It's not something you guys had ever experienced a win before at that level. So how did she get you guys prepared for that week?
She just told us take it one game at a time. You know, we had played Emporia the very first game of the season, and that was our first loss. So she just told us to take it one game at a time. First, we had to redeem ourselves against Emporia, and then we had to play Central Missouri, and you know, they were the defending national champions. And then when we got to Hayes, she was saying, you know, like, this is their home floor. They're not going to give us anything. So, I mean, she just kept us calm, she kept us cool, she kept us collected, and she just made sure that each game we were prepared how we need to be prepared.
Yeah, the bracket really lined up for if anyone was short on motivation. It was very easy set for you to get a rematch with Emporia. Just what did you take going into that one, knowing you had obviously film on them from November, and how did you obviously alter the outcome from what you experienced back in November?
Oh, that game we were super pumped for. You know, they gave us our only loss. You know, that from then on, they gave us our only loss of the season from right there. So in that very first game of the season, it wasn't the best game we had played. So, you know, she made sure that we were pumped and excited and ready to play that game. You know, we were ready because, like I said, we should have never have lost that game. We just didn't play very well that day, you know, the very first game of the season. But going into that game, we were all excited. We were ready. You know, we had to redeem ourselves. They were probably ready to beat us twice, but we weren't going to let that happen.
And then how about as the game is playing out, it required, I think I have it right, a pretty significant fourth quarter rally to get that first win. You know, just again, as you can, just take us back into the huddles during the fourth quarter there, or second half, of how you obviously turn the tides to get that opening victory.
You know, for some reason, the very first game of tournaments is always not the greatest. Just like in the conference tournament against Northwestern, it's just, I don't know. We have to make it fun, I guess. But you know, we made sure that we came out with the win for sure.
Sure, and then you get through that one, and then as this gauntlet of a regional lays out, you get Central Missouri, as you mentioned, the defending national champions, and what ends up probably being the signature game of your run with Tabor's last second shot, which obviously also won an award this week for player of the year. just how as that game lays out. I know there's a crazy technical late in the game that helps guys complete another fourth quarter rally. Just how are you guys? How do you guys keep everything kind of calm as that game turns kind of bonkers in the last 4 or 5 minutes?
That has a lot to do with our coach. We have a lot of games that were close, and she always makes sure that we keep our composure. She always makes sure that we stay calm and we stay, because she always says the fourth quarter, is the most important. Well, not the most important, but she always just makes sure that we're ready for the fourth quarter at all times. So when it gets to close games, she always makes sure we stay calm. We keep doing what we do and run our offense just how we playing the whole game. She doesn't do anything special. She doesn't change anything. So I think that helps us a lot. She keeps calm, so we keep calm. Like in that game, it was crazy. I watched the video of that the other day of Tabor's shot, and I just like, man, the memory.
And now, again, having watched it probably 100 times myself, I feel like I should know because I watched it for everyone's reaction. There's somebody on the bench with about 8 seconds left when I think Hayden misses a chance to throw it underneath for a layup, and you just see her, roll her head like, oh, we had a layup, and then, Haley's double team and she finds Tabor, but somehow I have forgotten where you were. So just take us through where you were on that play and how you saw it unfolding.
Oh, well, I had fouled out that game. Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's research 101 right here.
Yeah. I was at the end of the bench, and I was standing up, and Maddie was wide open. I was like, Haley, look. And then, they double-teamed Haley, and then Tabor's girl went to Maddie. That's how Tabor ended up wide open. And from there, it was just like, oh, snap, she better make this shot. And she did. Everyone went crazy.
Yeah, and then you actually had to go back out. And then you had to go out on the court or obviously you didn't, but the team did for, whatever it was, a half second. And they didn't have a terrible look given how, kind of dire it was. Just take us through how, obviously you're now on the bench. Just the highs of that, of you win, it's over. Oh, wait, we have to play defense again. Just how do you recoup everybody to get in that one final stop?
Yeah. It's just like, just 1 second. Just 1 second. Don't mess it up. Coach is just like, just 1 second. Just play defense. Everyone's thinking the game is over. Because I thought the game was over when she hit the shot because I thought the buzzer had went off.
Sure.
But, I guess not.
Yeah, it looks like it in real time, but then if you really, like they do, look frame by frame, I guess there is some time. And, always us in the GAC, we think the MIL schools are all going to conspire to keep, pesky GAC out of it, but they couldn't stop us this time.
Oh, yeah. We definitely heard a lot of it going into the MIAA. We heard it from Hayes fans. They were tweeting a chance, and when we went up there, some of the fans saying we didn't have a chance, but I guess they figured it out real quick. And then,
as it turns out, the game that ends up being the most comfortable victory, is the Hayes game with just that incredible start that really, there aren't too many environments that you're going to see like that at Division II. Just when you guys are in warm-up, you see the crowd, building and building, just even during the warm-ups. Do you know this is going to be something different, unlike what you haven't experienced before?
Well, the night of the practice before the game, Coach was telling us, tell your parents to get here early because it's going to be packed. It's going to be a full house. Make sure they get their tickets. So we were just like, this is a pretty nice gym. So if this is packed to the top, that's going to be crazy. And for sure, it would. From the time we were warming up to the time not when the game was over.
No.
They started leaving early, but but from the time we were warming up, it was packed. It was loud. It was. I like playing in those environments. I think it's pretty cool, because you don't always get to play in those type of environments.
Sure. Could you imagine? Could you even dream of a start like that to get up on them so much? And you never really maybe they made a couple runs, but it was unlike, again, Central Missouri and Emporia. There was nothing in doubt. So just how kind of surreal was it to be on the court and say, oh my gosh, we're dominating the in theory the other best team in the region.
Nothing really surprised me anymore with us, especially with that press. They thought they had our press figured out, and comes to show that they really didn't. And now the lead, I was like, man, and is this how the game's gonna be the whole time? That never happens. You know, it's always a surprise with us.
Yeah.
A comeback and then we pull away. Yeah, but no, I didn't expect that.
And then so now, obviously, with the game, no longer in doubt as the final seconds are ticking off, just and knowing what it's going to mean to clinch a region, just how does that emotion compare? It's another net cutting for you all. I know you just had one the week before in Bartlesville. Just how did that compare to? Because obviously Bartlesville a neutral floor, and if anyone has a home court advantage, it's going to be, in theory, you all in Bartlesville because of Haley's time there. Just how does it feel to win? And just silencing that big of a crowd.
Oh, it felt great, especially after all of the hate that we got the whole week, saying that we wouldn't beat them and pretty much that we didn't have a chance. It felt great. Cutting down the net, all the fans were walking out. They didn't want to see any of it. I enjoyed every moment of it. It really was a great experience.
I'm not gonna lie, I did take note of just seeing just the stone face that the admin folks have to keep to make sure that everything looks like a proper, everyone you guys get your earned championship moment and everything is done properly, but there's gotta be stewing inside, really losing. But we've seen it in our side. We've had our teams hosting events and other teams celebrate on our school's home floor, so it's nice to have it turn around once again. So then, just what's the reception like when you guys get back to Weatherford after that region championship, knowing you have a few days to decompress before you hit the air for Columbus?
I'm pretty sure it was spring break for everyone else when we got back. so no one was really there, and we were practicing. Coach always saying, Coach during preseason, her favorite line is, "No one's watching." You're back to your running by yourself. She says the same thing. You have to get prepared. Don't worry about spring break. You don't have any school to worry about, so all you have to focus on is basketball. No, but there weren't many people there when we got back. But when the bus rolled in, there were some people in the parking line, saying congratulations. So that was pretty cool.
The true diehards, right?
Yeah.
So then
only the people who stuck around for spring break.
Right. Maybe the other spring sport athletes who had to be there too. So then now again we jump now to the Elite Eight. How do what does Coach prepare you guys for that week in Columbus? I mean, in theory, it's similar to the conference tournament in the Central Region. It's 8 teams, win 3 games, or play 3. Obviously, win 3 games, you win again. Does you try and keep it simple like that, or is it it's impossible to avoid the magnitude of the week?
Well, she didn't really know who we were gonna play. She had an idea, so she had a kind of a scout wrote down. For the very first game, we watched so much film on them, because we knew who we were gonna play the whole time. For the other 2 days, she just kind of if we play them, then this is what we'll do. But for the most part, we just went, like I said, game by game. For the first game, we watched a lot of film on that because we had a lot of time. And then for the other 2, we just had to prepare, the night before. But I can say she always keeps us prepared. We have a pretty good detailed scout, and we scout ourselves. So, yeah.
So then, similar to the conference tournament and the regional tournament, just how hard is it to get through that first win? No one wants to go up there, lose your first game and turn around. It's kind of everyone leave a bit of a sour feeling. Just when you're facing St. Anselm, so you don't know who they are. We in the GAC knew that St. Anselm had beat Southern Arkansas in softball, so we all at least knew of the schools. Get revenge for another GAC school. So how important was it for you guys? Was there any feeling getting any pressure off you to win that one and maybe in theory justify your presence there, or was any of that even talked about?
Yeah, well, when we went to the bank with a lot of we saw some of the no, it wasn't the banquet. It was when we went to the museum or something. We saw some of St. Anselm girls, and they just was like, "What team are you guys from?" And we were like, "Oh wow, you didn't scout us, like we recognize you." No, but I think the first game is always kind of not rough for us, but it's always something different. That first game is always different for us. We just always have to play super hard. We had to play super hard all 3 games.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then when the bracket was revealed with how they seeded the 8 teams, did you all maybe envision it being Drury in the final, or did you guys, since you had played and beaten Lubbock Christian in December, did you think they were probably going to be your likely opponent, or did you even think about that?
Well, I think we all thought it was going to be Drury just because, like, they press just like we press. They kind of play pretty fast. So I think everyone, and they were number 1.
Sure.
So it was just, we were like expecting and preparing for the most part for Drury. And it's basketball, so anything can happen. I didn't expect it to be Lubbock, but.
So with the Lubbock game, they said it's kind of a two-edged sword because you knew them, but in theory, then they knew you, so they did actually know your pressing style. And with that start of the game, it had to be just an out-of-body experience to have so many early struggles. How did Coach keep you guys, your spirits up early in that game? And obviously, for a while, it did. The momentum did switch to your favor.
She just told us. She always says, "Stop acting like you've never been down before in a game." There's been games, we've been down. We thought, she probably never thought, but it might have looked like it wasn't going our way, and then something just switched, and we came on. We hit every shot. We got every loose ball. She just always tries to keep our spirits up, just make sure that we stay in the game, even though we went on like a 10-0 where we didn't score anything. It was a little rough right there.
Yeah. And us just watching from afar, we're, living and dying with every swing of emotion. How do you keep yourself, in the moment and not let anything get too big for yourself, for you all, within that game, knowing that there is nothing. The only thing different are the stakes, but it is still the same game you played all your life.
I don't know. I just think I personally just kept thinking, this is a big game, but you've played in big games before, so just keep your composure, keep playing, and all of us, it was just the first quarter, so we didn't freak out, when we got down that quick, we didn't freak out, we just kept playing, and, by the end, that's when we really had to make sure we just kept playing, because I was like, oh man, this is getting crazy, this is the end, this is it. After this is nothing else. So I don't know. I won't lie. It was a little scary and a little nerve wracking there at the end. The beginning, I was okay, but at the end, I just had to make sure that that everyone, and including myself, just kept thinking, this is it. This is the last game. So no matter what we do, we gotta play as hard as we can, and that's what happened. It just didn't turn out in our favor. So
yes, there is just the couple bounces of the ball either way, and it's totally different outcomes, which is just the reality of it. And for at least for you and some of your teammates, you get another crack at the apple, this November. When you then this next time coming back to Weatherford after the Elite Eight, there are more people in town. You do have more recognition for your run. Just how gratifying was that to see that it did end up being an event that united even more than a community. You guys were at the Capitol and things where you get governors tweeting out you guys support in advance of games. Just were you able to then wrap that in that you guys were doing something that was even bigger than yourself, than your university, than even just your town of Weatherford?
Not at first, but eventually, yes. Because at first it was like, to me at least, it was like, kind of a sore, like we went all the way down there, we played this team before, we beat this team before, and then we beat them. It was kind of like, I don't know, I didn't really feel like celebrating. I don't think any of us did. But, eventually, everyone was like, you guys did something that no one has done before. You made history. Coach was telling us, like people were emailing her from all over the place, just saying that they were watching and how proud they were of us. And a lot of people told us that too. We just had to get over the loss. Not get over it, but, like we just had to look at the bigger picture. Not that we had lost, just like the journey. People followed us to Ohio, people followed us to Hayes, people followed us to Bartlesville the whole season, So we had to look at the bigger picture and not sulk on the loss. It hurt, but yeah.
It certainly is hard. Like we even had discussions with, folks in the office, like where does it, sting the least? Like obviously you lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament, like, well, you didn't get a postseason win. You lose in the second round. Okay, you got your game, but you didn't get to the final, so you didn't justify your seed. You lose in the region final. Okay, Hayes proved they were better than you, and that stinks. You lose in the first round of the Elite Eights. Did we really belong? You lose in the Final Four. Maybe that's acceptable because you won a game, but it's not the ultimate game. And then, obviously the way we had it picked up, losing, I don't know if there is a more, harsh way to have a game where the ball is off the rim and you're a rebound away from having the ultimate prize. So that one universally won as the toughest way to stomach it. And just even talking with, Doug, your SID, or seeing some other Southwestern folks out there, it's just you don't know how to even bring it up because you want to celebrate it, but there's still that one little, elephant out there. It's like, yeah, but. So it is helpful to know that, that hopefully as more time goes by, that the whole year is celebrated and recognized for you. And that's obviously what this is meant to do too, rather than focus on that one stupid long rebound that just got out of all your fingertips. And I don't even like bring up, I almost wanted to say, yes, you made it to the next year's game and then cut, interview over. But it's just, it always lingers. But it is something that, that no GAC school has gotten to experience before, of having the national championship trophy, at center court as a team got to play. So it is something that you'll always be the first to do that. Hopefully there is a team that can break that glass ceiling. If it's you all next year, that'd be great too. We're not picky. We don't care who it is. So in closing, Tyra, and thank you for spending so much time with us to look back on SWOSU's postseason. With all these awards being online voting driven, it did speak highly of that Weatherford and Southwestern support you had. So this is my chance to turn over the floor to you. This is your Oscars acceptance speech for you to thank all those who may have sent their support and voted you guys to this award.
I just want to say thank you to everyone. Not just who voted, but who watched us throughout the whole season. Who supported us, who traveled with us. From Ohio to just Bartlesville. Who came to all the home games. Even if they couldn't come to the home games, they watched us on the live thing. This was an incredible season. It really was. Even though it didn't end the way we wanted it to, I can't complain one bit. I really can't. Like from the beginning, from the very first loss that humbled us, to the undefeated GAC conference, just the whole thing. It was, I don't regret my decision to come to Southwestern. I never will. And if anyone asks me, I'll tell them that was the greatest. That was the greatest choice I've made so far. So.
Well, Tyra, thank you for joining us to look back at March. Not everybody's going to know all the technical difficulties we had to put this together, because we're going to make this all look nice and pretty on the internet. But thank you for looking back on us this year, and good luck next year. And maybe you'll be up here. We'll talk again next year, celebrating another successful March run. Thank you again for looking back on this, and congratulations on a truly outstanding season.
Thank you.